Hello Blueco, it's Mr. Harris here and I'm bringing you the 6th lesson in our Science at Home series. So some really simple experiments that you should be able to carry out at home with just a few basic ingredients or things that you need. As always, remember, please ask an adult to do whether you're able to do this, and even better if they could do it with you just to help you through and help you along. As I said, they're all super safe, but it's best just to check because I don't want you getting in any trouble. Okay, we'll start as we usually do and have a recap of what we looked at in the previous week. So this has been one of my favourites so far, where we looked at creating our very own lava lamp at home. So there's a few retrieval questions for you to answer, so you can pause the video and then try and answer these before I give you the answer. Okay, so the first question, what is the mass of an object? So that's talking about how heavy it is. We often talk about how much something weighs, so it might be in grams, kilograms, you might have heard stone. What is the volume of an object? That relates to how much space it takes up, and we'll often talk about centimeters cubed or meters cubed or even kilometers cubed would be something very big. And we can take the combination of these. The mass of an object compared with its volume is known as density. Alright, we'll move on to this week. So, before we start, I want you to check that you have got some washing up liquid, a little bit of milk, a plate for you to put the milk on, and some food colouring. Also, importantly, you need a cotton bud or a cocktail stick, or to be honest, anything with a pointy end that you can dip into the washing up liquid. We'll have a quick look at the science to start with. So, milk has fat in it, and these are all connected with bonds, okay? The fat is connected together. Think of it like little pieces of fat holding hands. When we're cleaning, we use washing up to clear up greasy and oily dishes, and this is because the soap breaks up the fat bonds, so the little pieces of fat let go of each other's hands. We're going to see what happens when we place food colouring on the milk or in the milk and try and disrupt the bonds using the washing up liquid. So children, I've got my milk on the plate here. Put the milk in already just so that it has settled. I tried this earlier and some of my food colouring seems to be dispersing, but I found that the blue one appeared to stay together the best. So I'm going to just pour some of that on now. Okay. I will try with some of the pink food colouring as well, but this is more like a gel, and I think that may be why it kind of sinks to the bottom. But we'll see what happens. Right, before we go on to the final part of the experiment, I'd like you just to make a prediction, because what we're going to do in a moment is put the washing up liquid onto my cotton bud and then put it where the food colouring is. So here's a couple of sentences you could use to make a prediction. So placing washing up liquid on the food colouring might. I predict that will happen because. And when the washing up liquid touches the food colouring should. And think about that science we talked about earlier. Okay, so you can see I've put my washing up liquid just in a dish here. So I'm going to take the cotton bud or your cocktail stick or whatever you've got and place on it some washing up liquid. My cherry flavoured washing up liquid. And I've dropped some on, and you can see that it disperses the food colouring and you can make certain shapes. Now, as I said earlier, the pink food colouring seems to sink to the bottom, but I wonder if I can find some of that and mix it in with the other ones. And children, what's kind of fun about this is that you can create your own little patterns. Now, I did say earlier that I tried to use the green food colouring and that didn't quite work. So I'm going to just see what happens now if I pour some of that in. Okay, it seems to have gone to the bottom as well, so it's sunk. But we could mix that in as well. Okay, so let's discuss what's happening there then. Uh-oh, I'm getting washing up liquid on my laptop. So the milk has fat in it, and the food colouring should float on top of the fat, just like that blue food colouring did. The fat, which is connected by bonds, is broken up by the washing up liquid. The washing up liquid causes all the fat particles to move around, taking the food colouring with it, and that's how we can create some different artistic patterns. What else could you try? Well, could an adult heat up the milk, see if this changes anything? I've used whole milk. That should have the most fat in it. I wonder what happens if you use skimmed milk. That's the one with the red carton. Try sprinkling pepper on the milk and see what happens. We've done that previously using washing up liquid as well. I'd love to see some pictures. You can send them into your year group email. So that's the prefix of year 3, 4, 5 or 6 at bluecoatfederation.co.uk and see if you can make some pretty cool patterns. How about that? Hope you enjoy the lesson. Take care. Bye.